Hi, I'm Emma Tracey and I'm the host of Access All, the BBC's podcast all about disability and mental health news and stories. You can hear all episodes of our podcast on BBC Sounds with transcriptions, and we will put a link to that under this video in the description. This signed version of the podcast is a funny and frank conversation I had with Mollie Pearce from hit TV show The Traitors. Mollie has a limb difference and she has a stoma that she calls Sid. She was one of 3 disabled contestants in the 2024 series of The Traitors, but she was the last disabled woman standing. How do you feel now that the show has ended?
It's so strange because obviously we filmed it a while back, so kind of end of summertime, and then you just go back to your normal life. So you have this crazy experience and like this massive adventure, and then that's it. Like I was back working as a healthcare assistant at the hospital.
Really? So you went straight back to work and you had a job?
I think I had like 2 days or 3 days, and then I was like, I'll go back to work. And you obviously can't talk to anyone about it either. So
yes, you're kind of a traitor in your life then, because you're like lying about what's happened.
Yeah, I didn't lie on the show, but now I have to lie in real life. So interesting.
Can we go back just to this big moment at the end of the show? You seem to have built up quite a friendship with Harry, who won. How close were you to him, and how did you feel when you found out that he was a traitor?
I think as a group we were super close, especially towards the end, because you spend a lot of time together. I know the public only see an hour 3 nights a week, but we were together every day, all day. So I think that's what people forget, and you do build real bonds, and also you don't have communication with your family and friends, so they are your support system, and like they are who you are spending all your time with and that kind of thing.
How would you describe the Traitors in a nutshell?
Stressful. Very stressful. Just so many emotions all the time. Like you go from doing the mission and like all working as a team and like you're super happy and celebrating that you've just added to the prize pot, and then suddenly you're at the round table banishing one of your friends, and it's hard. Like it's a difficult thing, like mentally especially, because you do get close to these people, like I said, and you make real connections with them.
And you made a real connection to Harry.
We were really close. I think people need to remember it was a game, and like the friendships that you do build in there are still real, and people had certain roles in the game, and that's also okay,
Yeah, so do you still speak to Harry then?
Yes, me and Harry are fine. The gossip that everyone wants, me and Harry are fine.
I know you are. But your reaction was amazing. It was as if someone said, this is the best way to do reality television, go do it like this.
I think it actually is so good that it looks scripted. Like it's so perfect, like the ending is so perfect. But yeah, I mean, it's hard finding out your friend's been lying to you. Like it is hard, but it's the game, and we all signed ourselves up to a game. So,
and have you any regrets?
Wiping Harry's name off my board, maybe?
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Because you nearly voted for him on the very last second.
I know.
And then you changed it to...
I know, but I think I stuck with my heart, and I'm not going to hate myself for that,
Yeah.
And as much as I kind of obviously gathered what was going on in that room, I just couldn't, I don't know, I would have felt so guilty if I took that money from Harry, like right at the end, if he was a faithful.
Okay, so you really couldn't bear that. So that was more the reason why you...
I think there was quite a lot of people that trusted Harry. Like, it wasn't just me.
Seeing as we're a disability podcast, can we chat a bit about the stuff that you talked about really openly in The Traitors? It was really, really great to see you doing all the challenges, really like brilliantly climbing and swimming. You do have ulcerative colitis.
Yes.
What is that?
So I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 11. So it's like inflammation in your bowel. So they don't really know what causes it. It can be anything. Well, nothing really causes it. It is just like an autoimmune disorder. And it's basically where you get ulcers in your colon. There's also Crohn's, which affects your whole digestive system, whereas ulcerative colitis is just your large intestine.
Right.
So yeah, I was really unwell for a long time. I mean, from 11 till 18, and then I had my surgery when I was 18. So yeah.
So you had surgery, and what was that?
So I had surgery to remove my large intestine. So
big surgery.
that colon's in the bin. Like, yeah, don't know where he is now, but...
I now want to ask, did you get to see it? That's disgusting.
I wish I did. Do you know what? Apparently they're like 6 foot or something like that, I've heard. So it would have been great to see it. And I also like want to know what they did with it. Did they literally just chuck it in the bin? Like, it would be interesting to know.
Or are they doing scientific experiments on it somewhere?
Let's hope so. I hope my colon's going to good use somewhere.
Yeah.
Just
so
not in my body anymore.
So instead of a colon, you've got a stoma bag.
Yes. So basically now my small intestine sticks outside of my stomach, and I have a stoma bag over the top which collects my waste.
And what was that like, having that throughout all those really busy challenges, staying away from home, with people you didn't know? You know, do you have any trouble with the stoma? Does it cause you problems ever? Were you worried about it?
I think for me, because I was so poorly before, my stoma has like completely altered my life in the best way. Like, it's given me the kind of option to go do these things, whereas when I was suffering with ulcerative colitis, I couldn't be away from a toilet. So I would never have been able to do their missions in the middle of a field or the middle of a lock in Inverness. My life heavily relied on a toilet before my surgery. So actually having a stoma bag is the best thing I've ever done. I actually went travelling, I think it was not last summer, the summer before, to Greece, and we did island hopping, me and my boyfriend. Yeah. And that was obviously a great experience to like see how traveling was with a stoma bag, and like how much kind of supplies I needed and stuff like that. So that was really great.
So it was a sort of good prep for the Traitors. And did you need any extra time or support or anything like that to look after your stoma while you were there?
Honestly, I call my stoma Sid, by the way. So
Sid.
if I relate,
I'll call it Sid from now on.
So if I relate to, and I call him a he for some reason as well. So if I relate to my stoma as Sid, that's who I'm talking about.
Great. Okay.
He's pretty well behaved. Like, I can't lie. Touch wood, he's been great. And I change my bag kind of every 3 to 4 days, and I just empty it throughout the day normally when I go to the loo. And yeah, he doesn't cause me many problems. So
you're quite proud of Sid.
Yeah, very proud of Sid. He's helped me in a lot of ways.
And is Sid one of the reasons why you got into modelling? Because you do some modelling around disability stuff now, don't you?
So I actually got into modelling because of my limb difference. I saw a lady in Primark who had one arm, and I'd never seen a disability model before. Like, I couldn't actually believe what I was seeing.
So you walked into Primark, saw a model with a limb difference, and said, I could do that?
I didn't think I could do that, but I thought I want to do that. And like the way that model made me feel in that moment, I'd never seen that like representation before. Yeah. So I was like, that is how I want to be for other people. So I kind of looked into it a little bit more, and then I got with an agency who have been amazing. And then obviously I had my surgery at 18, and I was like, well, let's just model for this as well. Like, why not? Like, double whammy. Who doesn't want someone with one hand and a stoma bag, you know?
That is really an unusual and unique combination, I would say.
It definitely is.
And it must have made you feel something when you did get ulcerative colitis. I find it really hard to say.
It's a mouthful, it is.
Why, and also having had a limb difference, you're like, oh my goodness, second thing.
I think like my limb difference has never really been a problem, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's just you.
Yeah, I was never like bullied for it or anything. You know, you get the odd nasty comment, but I had such a great like group of friends and such a good family support. Like, my parents have been amazing. Like, my brother is great, and now my partner, he doesn't see my disabilities at all. But yeah, growing up, like, I didn't have any problems with my hand, and I would now and again hide it in photos and stuff. I wasn't fully confident with it, but it definitely didn't affect my day-to-day life. Yeah. But then when I was diagnosed with colitis, it was so interesting because it's an invisible illness. Like, you look at someone and they look so healthy, but really you are suffering so much and you are so unwell. And I remember I used to be in hospital a lot when I was in school. And people would be like, are you going into hospital because of your hand? I thought, no, babe, they're not growing my hand in a lab. Like, the hospital's not helping my limb difference. Like, that is what it is. Like, that's not changing. But I think because people can't see it, it's super hard to explain to people. But that's so interesting. Yeah.
Now, there was a really emotional moment with you in the penultimate episode of the show. The clip showed you telling all about how ill you were, like you've told me. How was it being so vulnerable in front of everyone when they were really watching at that point? Everyone's really, really keen to get each other at that stage. And why choose that point?
I I think it was just a nice point. We'd got to the final and we were just celebrating us all. And I think it just made me realise like how far I'd come from like that girl who was so unwell and, you know, couldn't leave the house at times. And it just felt like a really nice moment to share with them. And yeah, and I'm so happy I did, because I think for a lot of people, especially with Crohn's and colitis, it can be such a hidden disease just because it is a bit of a taboo.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to show the world that it is a thing and a lot of people suffer from it. And you can be any age as well when you have a stoma bag. I think a lot of people think it's an older generation, but yeah, the younger generation also it does affect.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone had a story on the Traitors and everyone used their story at this point. Was there a little bit of playing the disability card at the end just to make sure you got through as far as you could do?
Honestly, no. I think a lot of people knew my story anyway. Like we'd all spoken a lot, but I mean, if that is it and it worked, then yay, go me. But no, I don't think it was really like that. I think we just had a really nice dinner and we just all decided at that point like it was a good time to open up, and it was nice.
There's been a bit of horribleness on social media about the choices you made on the last episode, but generally what's been the reaction from your stomates, so other people with stomas and other people online?
I think it's been amazing for them to see like someone on their TV with a stoma bag, because like I said, it can be a bit of a taboo, and I think it's super important as well that we do advocate for it, and we do show people that anyone can have a stoma. Like you could see someone on the street and you would have no idea what they're going through. But yeah, the negative backlash, I think it's always going to happen. And no matter what decision I made that night, I think it would have upset people either way, because both sides had supporters, you know.
Thank you so much, Mollie Pearce, for coming in for a chat.
Thank you so much for having me.